Eddie Butler.
Thank you, John. We've had some moving moments over the years at the Millennium Stadium, but Brian Moore was up there.
Well, the scene is set. The minute silence was immaculately observed, apart from one or two idiots shouting "Boca, Boca," and they should have been ejected. But this is going to be a hell of a battle.
Stephen Jones, where's number 10? James Hook is on the bench. Gavin Henson is out. Tom Shanklin is in. Can the Welsh pack cope with a line-out presence of Bakis Botha, the enforcer, and Victor Matfield, the artist of the South African line-out? John Smith goes from hooker to prop. Brian Habana, the speed merchant, is on the wing. He won't be against Shane Williams, but it really is the day when perhaps the Millennium Stadium will be lit up by Brian Habana and Shane Williams. The 23rd meeting between South Africa and Wales. Irish referee Alain Roland. And at outside half.
Jeff, time on, please.
For the Springboks. Not taking this kick-off because that's Conrad Janches, but it'll be very interesting to see how Ruan Pienaar, the utility back for South Africa, copes with the responsibility of being the playmaker. A lot of off the ball work going on at that first ruck. Pierre Spies. Gethin Jenkins comes flying in, doesn't make the tackle on the South African number 8. Here's Pienaar's first touch. High into the air. Brilliantly taken by Lieburn.
I'd be interested to see Wojciech. There's space there, but he decides against that, and that's a poor option. Well, it's a poor kick.
This is Pienaar again. A second high kick into the Welsh 22. And a first touch in international rugby for Andy Powell, the Wales number 8. And a first test successfully negotiated. Well caught. Andy Powell at the age of 27, winning his first cap.
Well, he never looked like dropping that, and that would be a important ball. Missed touch again. No, I think actually my fault. I think they were just going for ground there. Third one in the air.
Stephen Jones waits. Strength there from Stephen Jones. Second tackle by Schalk Burger pushes Stephen Jones into touch. First line out of the match coming up.
One of the things I just want to point out early, the first breakdown just outside the Wales 22, you see how many South Africans challenged it, continually trying to counter up and slowing the ball down, and they do that very well.
Bismarck du Plessis. There's Bakis Botha. Clever little ploy by South Africa, but the referee's whistle has gone.
Was it not 5?
Not 5 at the quick line-out.
It's a good job, isn't it, as well? Wales caught napping, so to speak.
Fourie du Preez was away.
Okay. Well, Matthew Rees, to be fair, it's not his job to look round there. Usually the man in the 5-metre channel, who is a hooker, is allowed to that. But they swapped everyone round, and that's why that quick line out wasn't seen.
Stephen Jones puts up a high ball for Wales. Janches waits, gets away from 3 tacklers, is held in the end by Alan Wynne-Jones.
Hands away!
Du Preez back to Pienaar, and there's the strength of the Pienaar boot. Now then, Andy Powell, the strike runner against JP Peterson. John Paul Roger Peterson, JPR Peterson, known universally as JP. There's Bakis Botha, there's Peterson now. Penalty for Wales.
Well, South Africa holding on to the ball when they're off the feet, which is the main thing to look for. Players still off the feet are going to be ref very harshly, and quite rightly so. We're playing this game under the global ELVs and God knows what they are. But anyway, we'll get on with it. Wales, the first incursion into South African territory, and this is an area where their attention's been rocky, but they've started a quick one. That's a penalty. That's a penalty.
Bismarck Duplessis tackling the player after the whistle.
I didn't hear.
Didn't hear it. I'll give him the benefit of that this once. Okay. Lost forward.
Well, he's been given the benefit of the doubt, as you heard there. Look, everyone else has stopped.
Touch, pause, engage.
Well, he didn't slam him in a normal sense of a spear, but utterly unnecessary, gratuitous, and should have been a penalty.
Good scrummage by Wales, turning South Africa towards the touchline.
It'd be interesting to see how John Smith goes, because...
Touch, pause, engage.
New names go on to the Welsh honour board. Andy Powell and Lee Halfpenny. Meanwhile, South Africa are in possession, and another high ball goes up. Shane Williams takes it under pressure from Peterson.
Well, he's done very well there, hasn't he?
No, he's been turned over.
Turned over.
Skolkberger in midfield. Juan Smith there, and a run here for Gentjes on the wing. Cuts inside. Tom Shanklin was there with a tackle. It's there for Fourie du Preez. The offload, and it's going to be Juan Smith for the try. Couldn't quite get there. Fourie du Preez has the ball. Surely Adi Jacobs is going to score. And South Africa, the kicking game set it up. They stripped it, Shane Williams, and off they went. Adi Jacobs, the opening try scorer.
Initially I thought Williams had done very well. In fact, he did, but he's only got one arm on there. Now, they've both got a responsibility to let go of that, but it's such a mess. You can't really tell. The ball comes out here, and it's a simple drive on the angle. But before that, there was some superb handling by Matfield and Berger.
Ruin Pienaar with the kicking duties. One out of one for the utility player, turned into an outside half, and South Africa lead by 7 points to 0.
Well, if you see the handling here, this is by forwards, instinctive look. There we go, very nice. Backs would have been proud of that, well timed there.
High ball, Pienaar under pressure, but gets away from Shane Williams. Martin Williams with the tackle.
Ball is inside. No, I can't.
And up goes the ball again. Leeburn waits. Sets off on the counter, the Welsh fullback. Long pass, Gareth Cooper, Alan Wynne-Jones in midfield. Stephen Jones under pressure from the beast. Tanda Matawarira. Time for South Africa to recover. Fourie du Preez, the scrum half, with the clearing duties. Wales will have to restart from their own half.
Well, if you see here, when the ball comes, as you move across, there's an overlap there. Man outside on the right. There you are, just coming into field. If that had been taken straight and moved, well, it'd have been clear space.
Ryan Jones wins line-out ball for Wales. Martin Williams.
Hands! No, it was at the same time.
Referee said hands out, and Wales hesitated.
He pulled the ball back in. He pulled the ball back in once the ball was presented.
Well, Alan Rowan's saying that the man who presented it then clawed it back in, but that was caused by, as I highlighted very early on,
at the tackle, he placed the ball out, which was fine. But then when
tactic of the Springboks to not just leave the ball alone when it looks as though the opposition have won it. They will challenge, even if it's individually. Not this one, it's the next one. They keep coming in and coming in. They won't leave him alone. and that was the pressure that created the try, and they do that better than anyone else.
A fresh reminder has been issued by the International Rugby Board about hands on the floor, that it's not just the defending side who have to clear their hands away. The original ball carrier can't do that sort of thing, can't tuck it back in for protection. Pina, his second kick. His second success. I don't think distance is much of a problem for
Never is.
Pina.
Huge boot. But the difficult thing for Wales is that really South Africa had 2 incursions into their territory, and they've racked up 10 points.
10-0, and we're not even up to 10 minutes yet. Conrad Janches, that's not such a high kick, but it finds the safety of touch. The Welsh think tank. Warren Gatland in the middle at the back. To his right, Sean Edwards. This is Matthew Rees, the Welsh hooker. Ryan Jones was the target last time. This time it's gone to Ian Evans. Good ball for Wales. Little dink by Stephen Jones. Doubt. Janches let it bounce. Slightly lucky there, South Africa. Wales pour through, but there's the strength of South Africa on the retreat, but getting the ball back safely, and then upfield. Lee Byrne will be rather hoping that goes out. He has to take it over himself now. Did he very cleverly put a foot over the touchline then to make it a Welsh ball? He did, and then South Africa stopped it going 5 metres. Result, penalty Wales. Very clever work by Lee Byrne.
Yes, well, he would be praying for that to go out. It didn't in the end. And you didn't see there, but the resultant attempted a quick throw-in, which was also clever because he knew he was in the 5 and he was going to stop him. Yeah, if the ball had stopped though, and it wasn't having momentum, then it would have been a throw-in to South Africa. Anyway, all that, the upshot of it, see, he knows the man's within 5 there.
Du Plessis again, you hookers.
Well, that's silly by Du Plessis, because if it was South African ball, he would get it back anyway. If it's Wales ball, he knows he's within the 5 and he can't do that, so either way it was not the right thing to do.
Now then, Wales have kicked away possession, and here is
off the line, please. Off the line,
quarrelsome Bismarck Du Plessis with South African line-out.
It's been cut.
South Africa have only got 4 in, but Wales have left a lot of forwards there. That's well played by Wales. Good defensive action. Ball comes. Did it come off the referee there? It is a red ball.
It did go on. Alan Rowland saying that the ball was lost forward in the line-out by South Africans. I'm not sure that was right, but the upshot. Interesting thing here, John Smith, previously very successful hooker, very good hooker, being moved to tight head. Now I couldn't discern the reason for that, and I would think that Wales must look to exploit that, as they did there.
Off goes Andy Powell. Good offload to Martin Williams. Quickish ball for Cooper.
Offside.
Lee Byrne puts his own large left boot to it, and here's Janches, and it's bouncing again for the fullback. Tom Shanklin, though, couldn't apply any real pressure there, and here's Lee Byrne. Brian Habana, back in his 22, to Pina.
Oh, that's a massive kick.
And that's good follow-up work too by Victor Matfield, preventing the quick throw. Sonia.
Well, just on that question of moving John Smith to tight head prod, was chatting to Butch James. He said, of course, they've got 2 tight heads playing in Europe, including CJ van der Linde, and Peter de Villiers had made it clear that he wasn't going to pick overseas players for this tour. So clearly that's perhaps one reason why Smith's gone to tight head, as well as wanting to keep his leadership skills on the field when Bismarck du Plessis has been playing very well as well at hooker.
Ryan Habana sets off, gets the offload away to John de Villiers, but South Africa under pressure. They've gone a long way backwards. They're still in possession.
Carry it back in.
But finally they have to put boot to ball.
Wait, Tate.
Lee Byrne. Shane Williams is a long way in front of him. Byrne kicks down into the Springbok 22. That's good kick by Lee Byrne. Here's Dupria. And that, in the end, works out well for Wales. Fine defensive operation.
It was, but what Wales have got to do, they had South Africa pedalling backwards there. The ball was being flicked back. When those tackles go in, they've got to try and turn the ball over, because South Africa ultimately did very well. They got enough men back round the ball and they were able to clear quite comfortably. So when Wales get them in positions of relative weakness, they've got to exploit them.
Good quick ball off the top for Wales. Andy Powell on the cutback. Scott Berger saw him coming. Well presented by Powell though. Stephen Jones goes on his own. South Africa lying on the ball. Alan Wynne-Jones from the second row takes over. Cooper looks up. Stephen Jones again. Numbers for Wales. Andy Powell, the number 8, tackled again by Scott Berger. Blindside opportunity. Shane Williams gets the pass away. Cooper again. This is the other second row. Ian Evans. Whilst forwards try and give some oomph there, they'll get the put in at the scrummage.
Well, Wales threatening to breach the line, but South Africa ultimately hanging on when Wales went blind there. I just thought there may have been a quick opportunity for a 2-on-1, wasn't taken. But Wales have to come away from this period of territory with some points. Can't leave here with nothing registered, because in contrast South Africa have made everything of their incursions.
Andy Powell has to go back slightly. The ball came out quickly for him. There's the strength of the Welsh number 8. That's good clear out work by Wales too. Ian Evans readjusts, doesn't drop the ball. Taking the tight route and they're finding little gaps. Cooper, this time they go behind. Tom Shanklin on the cutback, tackled by Pina. Cooper again. Stephen Jones, a little chip through, everybody's onside, came off a South African.
I didn't hear you call it, it was late for me. Here we are.
Aaron Rowland giving a mark there. He was saying he's sorry because he called it late. Right about saying, might you do it a bit earlier, because you can't. He can't do anything about the Wales players who are going to go on until they hear the mark called.
Off we go again. Ball kept in play. Lee Byrne, slow start. Kicked it early.
Get back out of the 10. It's
well
okay.
taken, but Lee Byrne, he may have misjudged the kick. He certainly didn't misjudge the catch. Wales trying to clear out Jean de Villiers.
Turnover.
Well, Lee Byrne had it. Ian Evans, he has gas, the second row. Oh, I think it's against Matthew Rees.
Yeah.
Going in, both from the side and to ground.
Number 2.
Well, that was illegal on a number of counts, really. But here, I mean, what players have got to learn this, surely. They know you cannot go off your feet. I mean, the worst thing about that was it didn't even clear the man who was intending to. And as a result, they find themselves right back near their own line.
There's Lee Byrne, fine catch by the fullback, but Wales now find themselves back in a very tricky situation. South Africa throw, and they're only 7 metres from the Welsh line.
Louis, watch the front there.
And historically, South Africa have had probably the best line out in the world. But Matt Field usually supply good quality ball when they need it. And they do
Field
again.
is the target, straight down to Dupria. Here's John de Villiers. And this time, it's Wales who get the penalty as South Africa come off their feet. Is that for the clear out?
I don't know. I'll have to see the replay. Here we are. Berger is first there. Well, you see, he's not on his feet. He's never going to be on his feet. That's why he's penalised. the crowd were booing him when he raised his arms later on, but that was something and nothing, you know. And the Welsh players shouldn't have hold of his shirt anyway.
Jean de Villiers, and in flies Scott Berger. The opening minutes, Jerry.
Yeah, Eddie, I think Wales are playing a very high-risk game plan here, not wanting too many line-outs, keeping the ball in play. They're really backing their fitness. And this means that Martin Williams has got to have more of an impact at the moment because he's been blown out of the tackle area, the contact area. They need more presence there to be dominant.
The first sight of Jamie Roberts in midfield, 22 years old this very day. Happy birthday, Jamie.
Stay back.
Andy Powell breaks out a tackle, and he's clear, and he has support the other way. Gets the pass away to Alan Wynne-Jones. Ryan Jones, the Joneses from the back five. Shanklin plays scrum half. Gethin Jenkins pours in. And Wales are penalised again. But what a run by Andy Powell.
Well, I was just going to say that the Welsh tactic of nipping round the sides of the breakdown was going to work at some point because the South Africans had gambled on that not being attacked, and they were all out. See, just behind there, no one defending behind the breakdown there.
No support took a bit to get there, okay?
It's a pity for Wales there wasn't a flyer there.
The upshot is that Ruan Pienaar has the clearance to touch, and South Africa will have the throw-in.
Well, Shanklin, Brian Habana, is he on his feet? Well, that's a difficult one. His feet are on the floor.
The line.
His feet are on the floor, but, well, I can see why Roland did that.
Du Plessis to Matfield. And Pienaar, and there is space there. Covered in the end by Lee Byrne, who thumps it back with interest. Pienaar takes it quickly. The new law says that the ball can go backwards, and it did there.
Out.
And it's a good law.
Janches took it and kicked it, and it's back in Byrne's hands. And he goes for the straight down the field. Kick taken by Berger to scrum half Fourie du Preez. And here's Andy Powell. A slow start. Well, he's got away with it because Cooper offered himself in support. A good pass by the scrum half. Chance for Wales. Shane Williams takes on Peterson, gives the ball to Shanklin. Shanklin stays well away from the touchline. That's a penalty to Wales. South Africa over the top. Advantage being played. Gethin Jenkins in midfield. Juan Smith comes in with a tackle. Cooper again. Cooper, whose international career was reignited on the tour of South Africa last summer, and will go back for the original penalty.
I wonder if he's not going to say anything, but and I think that's because that breakdown and penalty wasn't in the 22. But this, to me, is quite clear, quite cynical. Good timing of the pass, and interesting to see the two best wingers in the world, Williams and Habana. No, it's not Habana actually. No, and Peterson jousting. Now watch this. The man there, right round, straight up, flops round the side. Had that been nearer the line, may well have been spending 10 minutes in the bin. It wasn't, though.
Victor Matfield was the man, and this is Stephen Jones lining up the penalty. Wales with a chance of points.
Alan Rowland has just had a quiet word with Don Schmidt about the offences. I don't know whether that counts as an official warning, but just a quiet admonishment. And for all their endeavour of the last 12 minutes, and for all the semi-opportunities they've managed to manufacture, Wales still behind, no points on the board, and this is crucial.
It's wide.
They remain there.
Chance missed.
They really can't afford to continue to be profligate with points on offer. South Africa, a difficult enough team to beat when you do take your chances, but you've absolutely no chance if you're not clocking board over.
Gareth Cooper pops it up for Lee Byrne. Lee Byrne, will he catch it himself again? Did he take the player out in the air? Jean de Villiers was the person who took the clout, and a very hard hit it was too. De Villiers shakily back on his feet. This time it's Cody Dupria, and that's well taken by Andy Powell. Powell again. Jacobs with the tackle. Stephen Jones. Jamie Roberts, the new cap. Sorry, not the new cap, the birthday boy.
Hands away!
Shane Williams. Matthew Rees, the hooker, tries to sell the dummy, finds support from Alan Wynne-Jones. Shane Williams went in to play scrum half.
Hands out, release!
He doesn't want to be there. They may have turned him. Perhaps not Shane's wisest decision.
Hands out!
Martin Williams came out.
Well,
Referee's whistle went. South Africa will have the put in.
Well, that ending up as a wrestling match on the floor, which is what happens if you allow people to handle in the ruck.
Scrum.
On his knees at the moment is Tandai Mtawirira, known as the Beast.
Here's your mark.
Interesting
Reds, come up a little bit,
that we've
please.
had the beast, the ox, and various other animals in South African front rows.
In the middle now.
I think they've done quite. I think they've done quite well up till now, with a new tight head.
Pause, engage.
Oh, a penalty, a free kick rather, a free kick.
Hooray!
But not straight. And that was again another reminder sent out to referees. Ryan Jones, South Africa not 10.
Hands out!
Presented though for the Welsh backs. Up she goes. Habana waits.
Oh!
Knock on by Scott Berger, but South Africa had all the shirts for the pickup from the knockdown.
Can I just make it plain? I was shouting hooray, not in the sense of a Wales, but that had been refereed properly. And I don't know whether it's because Berger has a shocking blonde hair, but he seems to me to be all over the field, everywhere.
There you go.
And there you are. Of course, it's look at that. I tell you, the angle of that, if that was replicated in a line out, it would have been throwing the ball straight to the scrum half.
Sit behind.
Powell to Cooper. Roberts. Jones again. Shanklin inside to Lee Halfpenny, the new cap. Just 19 years old, Halfpenny. That's his first touch, and what an impact. Wales still in possession. Cooper again swings it wide, and then it's taken back in tight. Still there for Cooper. Jones back running things. Shane Williams into midfield, sees the mismatch, props in front of him. Again, Shane Williams very quick to offload it. South Africa go over the ball. Cooper scrapes it back. Stephen Jones.
Away 12, move 12.
De Villiers has to move.
No.
Wales have to play this quickly. They do. Lee Halfpenny, suddenly he's involved in most things. Here's somebody who's been involved from the outset. Ryan Powell, no knock on, it went back from a South African hand.
Hands out. Carry back off green.
And South Africa can clear. They don't go for touch, so Wales will launch the counter-attack. Shane Williams. The kicking option this time. Habana drops it. Here is the Beast. Mtawarira makes ground. South Africa back in possession. Very scrappy at the breakdown. Spoiling work by Wales. Hand in the ruck by South Africa.
Well, here is the Beast. And, well, unusually, Bucky Botha not clearing his man. Adam Jones staying in there, and that's
Time off, please, Jeff.
that's what happens when you counter ruck effectively. The scrum half or whoever the player is who decides to play the ball gets the ball, and you and one of his own forwards falling on top. And South Africa did that early on, and Wales did it well there.
Now then, injuries to Welsh players. There's Andy Powell receiving attention. Martin Williams has an ice pack under his shirt on his shoulder. Here is Andy Powell. What a start in international rugby. Here he is, the simple catch. Well, not so simple. And this is what he does ever so well. He's very strong. And he's good on his feet too. That's the power.
Well, he's very light, isn't he? Yes, he's had a... Well, that was the opportunity on the right-hand side that he couldn't convert in the end.
Now, this is very interesting. Kicking duties, because of the injury to Stephen Jones, have gone to the new cap, 19-year-old Lee Halfpenny. So not only has he had his first touch, his first run, his first little offload, his first taste, here he is with his first penalty kick at goal. Seems very cool about life on the international rugby field as Lee Halfpenny. He won't be 20 until December, and he's a Welsh point scorer.
Well, that moment will stay with him as long as he lives. First penalty. Interesting that they, turned to him at that age, and a pressure kick.
Conrad Janches towards Ryan Jones. Jones takes on Bismarck and makes ground through the South African hooker. Stephen Jones won't go for touch. Here is Pierre Spies. Back to Janches. Lee Byrne comes forward for it. Cooper didn't hear the call. Misunderstanding between Welsh fullback and scrum half. South Africa turnover ball. John Smith, good pass. Victor Macfield, good pass. The dangerous running of Brian Habannen. It was Andy Powell who made the tackle. John Smith, tackled by two Welsh props. Pienaar, Halfpenny covers it. 22. Lee Byrne again had one leg over his own goal line.
Well, the South Africans complaining that it was in fact taken over by Lee Byrne, and I would like to see the replay, but I think they've got a case in point. Oh, yes. Oh.
Ruan Pienaar has grounds for complaint.
The idea itself, the chip over, was a very good idea. It just unfortunately went too far and he couldn't put enough pressure on.
Now, Conrad Janches, he has done nothing but this. This time it's a spiral kick, well taken by Stephen Jones. Mark made. And there's a spiral kick in return. Victor Macfield, in the end, leaves it for Pienaar. And there's the end over end kicking style. Byrne keeps the ball in play. The Welsh forwards in front of Byrne have to get out the way. Knock on green advantage. Stephen Jones, Martin Williams. Williams took the right option. Ian Evans, tackled by JP Peterson. Jamie Roberts is there, number 12, doing a bit of rucking. There are forwards in his place in midfield. The direct play towards Andy Powell out on the left, and again the good footwork of Andy Powell. Alan Wynne-Jones tried to get the pass away. Beautiful work by Shane Williams. It was against Tawarira, but still turning on a sixpence. Alan Wynne-Jones.
Hands out! Once you're on the ground, you're out of the game.
Well, I just noticed something here. Bosha does lots of things very well, but that is, look at that cheap shot from behind. The ball's gone. Not brave. He lets himself down occasionally because he's a dog round the field. He wins ball in counter-rucking. He does so much good. And then, you know, see, look, ball's away. He's not set off, he knows. Bang.
John Botha. Bakis Botha. Skolkberger. Oh, they couldn't quite get the offload, but it's Macfield, the link man. Here's Ruan Pienaar, takes on Roberts. Pienaar has the strength and the guile to go there, but he lost the ball, or did he? This presumably will go to the television match official, Jeff Warren of England. And Pienaar, I think, knows he's lost it.
Was it knocked on? Okay, knocked on, scrum it down.
Well, that was quick.
Time on.
But again, you can see South Africa making holes here. Doesn't you? Oh yeah, well, quite clear. Couldn't see it from our angle because we're obscured, but very, very clear. I don't think the referee could have seen that either. And probably not the touch judge, actually.
Let's go.
Clear knock on by Ruan Pienaar, but he's certainly an influence at outside half. And even though there was no try, this is a real pressure scrum for Wales. 5 metres from their own line. Juan Smith wears 7
You went straight down.
South Africa. 7 normally the open side flanker, but Skolkberger.
Well, the ball there, you can see Wales 3 times the amount of ball in the opposition 22, and yet they haven't managed to convert that. South Africa have been, well, they've not really been in this area for the majority of the first half, but every time they've been here, they've scored, and what price them coming away with some score before they march back in at half-time.
They won't pre-scrummage. Okay, here we are. Crouch.
South Africa being warned not to push too early. Oh, Andy Powell comes away with it just as the scrum started to heave, and it's a controlled situation now for Wales.
Stay back.
It just depends on who's going to kick it. It is Gareth Cooper. Well, they got away with it, Wales. Brian Habana thought about the quick throw. Well played, Gareth Cooper.
Knocked out of his hand. I don't know whether it was a knee that knocked that out, or he just simply lost control of it. In any event, clearly not a try.
This time it's Pierre Spies who wins the ball.
Line out was caught. You're offside. You can't go bailing out till the line out's over.
Right, this technical point here. The line out ends either when the ball is deflected away from the line out, when the ball is caught, when the man passes it out, or if there's a maul there from when the whole of the maul has moved beyond the midpoint. So, if you gamble, expecting him to tap it, and he catches it like that, not until he lets it go over the ball is the line out over, and you, Martin Williams, is 5 yards offside. I can understand, you're bound to take a flyer, bound to expect that that's going, especially when people are peeling like that. But once the South Africans caught it and not given it, you're all too far forward. I don't know whether if he managed to do that and caught it because he saw people going, that he would catch offside. It's a remarkable piece of prescience, or maybe he just wanted to catch it.
2 out of 2 for Pienaar. It's very much like 3 out of 3. It is. South Africa extend their lead. 13 points to 3.
See again, although they didn't manage to go over the line from close in territory, the upshot of all that is that they've come away with some points.
Straight down the middle from Stephen Jones. Janches. Good clearance by the fullback from the middle of the field, all the way up to halfway and beyond.
Stay out now.
Matthew Rees. Here's Alan Wynne-Jones, one of the targets. Ryan Jones beaten to it. Fourie du Preez held by Ian Evans.
Hands out!
Turnover, set-piece ball by South Africa. Skalkberger plays scrum half.
Feet!
Pienaar thought he saw a gap and then slipped.
5 behind the ball, 5 green.
John
Okay,
Smith,
thank you, Jeff. 2 minutes.
the captain.
Yeah.
Jean de Villiers. Addy Jacobs goes in for support, as does Janchas. Is Duplessis.
Hands up!
Still there for the Springboks. Pienaar. Juan Smith came on the surge.
Okay, you're out
Slow
now.
ball for South Africa. Here's Addy Jacobs. Martin Williams and Tom Shanklin close on him.
Stay on your feet!
That's out for
Off red,
du
off red,
Preez.
off red.
Knock on. Well, it's all a bit laboured and clumsy by South Africa, but it is, they're putting at the scrum.
Mind you, I know Pienaar didn't execute the kick well, but he did well to recognise there was a gap there, because as he took that ball, he lifted his head. A lot of players don't play with the head up, and he saw the gap. Unfortunately for him, South Africa, he didn't quite execute it, the kick.
South Africa sort of running down the clock almost to half-time.
We're not touching, okay? And we're going early. That's all 4 of you. Okay, so let's get it right now. You know what we're supposed to be doing. Here we are. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. It's gone backwards.
South Africa tried a very tricky little move there. Pierre Spies trying to get it through his legs to Brian Habana. It didn't come off. Wales went through and have a penalty. So,
Well, he's supposed to flip that back. That is a high. If you do that well, it would be a devastating move. But this is fraught with danger. You know, the scrum is moving about. The timing of the pass blind, because you can't see the recipient, has to be done exactly.
Okay, my time, thank you.
And the result of a mistake from a scrum which should have been cleared or was easy ball is that Wales have the chance to, just before half-time, claw 3 points back, which is not what South Africa needed on their own ball.
Lee Halfpenny continues with the kicking duties
40 now, yeah.
for Wales. This one, well, it's what, 48 metres plus the angle equals 56 metres.
You got out of that well.
Will it curl in? No, not enough. Half-time whistle goes at the Millennium Stadium. The tourists are in the lead. It's Wales 3, South Africa 13.
Contested as well as the first period. Let's go back to Eddie and Brian Moore.
Okay, Louis.
Ryan Jones
What's that? There's no offside down, is it? Yeah,
thoughtfully comes
Louis,
back
you
onto the
pick me up
field.
there. Stop talking to the physio, pay attention.
Stephen Jones will start the second half. I'm just looking down to see if there have been any changes. It would appear that the lineups are as we began, and it is, there's something about this day, as John said, it is absolutely buzzing here at the Millennium Stadium. Will the second half come to life? Victor Matfield
Ball's outside the 22.
takes the kick. Matfield, who went off to play in Toulon in France and therefore would not have been eligible for Springbok selection under coach Peter de Villiers, but he hot-footed it back to the Bulls as Lee Byrne takes another ball out of the air, feeds Gethin Jenkins. Wales with vigour in their step straight after the break. Martin Williams. Ryan Jones takes the pass from Cooper. There's a bit of a delay there. And it could be stripped there as South Africa.
Can't dive over. Can't dive over.
Alan Roland explains why the penalty has gone to South Africa.
Here you go.
And another example there, South African counter-rucking. That's the offence there. Well, he could have only said he came from an offside position because the ball was actually out. The kick and chase here. Just watch this for a second. When he takes the ball, he said it's gone right, there were numbers over, but because it was delayed only by 2 seconds, see all the players failing in, and the defence moves out wide, shuffles across, and there were no gaps, but just temporarily there was one.
A new player in the South African lineup, number 18 there. And it is Andries Becker. And if you think that the South African lineout might struggle without Bakkies Botha, the replacement, Andries Becker, is 2 meters 8 centimeters high. There we have the Welsh team. Alan Wynne-Jones and Ian Evans will have to face the threat of Andries Becker, the South African replacement, and they'll have to do some pushing at this scrimmage. No Gavin Henson in the Welsh three-quarters, just to remind you. A late replacement, a late withdrawal yesterday. Jamie Roberts moves into the Henson position of 12. Tom Shanklin comes in.
There's your mark. Crouch.
Becker in for Botha on the South African side.
Pause. Engage.
Wales are putting at the scrum.
Back row, get on, back
Solid
row.
enough. Powell feeds Cooper, feeds Stephen Jones, Roberts, Lee Halfpenny comes in off his wing. Andy Powell takes on Becker, stays on his feet, shrugs off Skalkberger. Martin Williams put in the kick. Sanchez, who's watched a bit of ball bouncing so far, does it again, but presents the ball safely enough to Fourie du Preez, who is a very calming influence for South Africa. That can't go out on the full if South Africa want to make ground. They didn't even try for touch. Lee Byrne. Then they won't want to see that go all the way to the dead ball line. It does scrum back all the way inside the Welsh half.
I can't help thinking that Martin Williams, whilst the kick wasn't particularly good either, the option itself when Wales hadn't had the ball for a while and there were 4 players outside him, albeit there wasn't an overlap, probably better just to keep the ball and try and manufacture an opportunity later on rather than immediately ceding the ball to South Africa, the upshot of which is that they are in Welsh territory.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Is that an uncomfortable South African scrum, bro?
Excuse me.
I don't know about that because he was just wheeling on the far side. John,
get your arse. Come on, you're backside stove that way. Get it in here.
Get your what?
Talk to him to get the same.
Get your what?
Get your 50-cap rear
You can't
into the
say
scrum.
that. See John Schmidt here at tight head. See where he gets his arm. That's a difficult position to hold because he's been driven up under his armpit.
Fourie du Preez took it quickly, still on for South Africa.
Oh, here we go.
Instead, Lee Halfpenny comes away. Shanklin! Now then, chased down by Pierre Spies, puts the kick in. Still Wales have the advantage, do they? That's Lee Halfpenny involved, as he was at the start of the move. South Africa scrambled it back. Shanklin didn't quite have the pace to get there, but what a breakout by Wales, and listen to this cheer for them.
Well, you can hear the cheer. Tentative, expected to be hit. But I tell you what is impressive here from South Africa. When this ball goes back inside there, you would think there wouldn't be many players back. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Immediately there are 7 players appear in that shot. And that is tremendous defence.
Ian Evans lifted by Andy Powell. The good catch taken by the second row. Gethin Jenkins picks up.
6 away.
Powell. Oh, scrappily to Martin Williams. Untidy by Wales. It's still an advantage as South Africa eventually clear out of play. Would go back for the knock-on.
Well, as the ball was passed from outside to inside, it goes out. They're not going to be allowed to play on ball. Would come back anyway. I'm not so sure not sure he knew that when he kicked. If we had enough time to explain the technicalities where John Smith is playing, could bore you all to death about shoulder positions. The upshot of which is he's got inside his man, and that's sufficient to keep it steady.
The thumping boot of Ruan Pienaar takes South Africa out of their own half. Of course, South Africa have another utility player on the bench, Jan-Francois Steyn. He can play in just about any position too.
He can kick from just about anywhere as well. The game's a bit flattered at the moment, neither side really managing to get any momentum.
That's the new player, Andries Becker, son of Henny Becker, and South Africa steal Welsh line-out ball. So, Wales starting to lose the set-piece struggle. Pierre Spies, Martin Williams just robbed him of the ball. Shanklin, Jamie Roberts gets the offload away when under severe pressure. Here's Shanklin again. Cooper, Gethin Jenkins. That's where Wales have to be careful not to get hands on the ball there. Oh, Martin Williams just steps away from John Smith. Shane Williams to Halfpenny, the wings in unison. Halfpenny takes it into the ruck. Cooper to Jones. Lee Byrne outside him. Jones slightly on his own, but did well to keep things up. Shane Williams beats two, beats three. Oh, what a smash tackle that was. Jones. There are forwards out there, and it just doesn't bounce kindly for them.
Well,
I'm just looking at Shane Williams here. He's up, he's on his feet. Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, it was an example. I tell you, he should be on Strictly Come Dancing, without doubt. One beaten there, two beaten here. Another one beaten there, and then here.
JP Peterson.
But look, he can retain the ball. And the other thing, Eddie, 3 times in that move, Welsh players, when they went to ground, actually put the ball back a long way beyond the body, and that makes such a difference to the quality and the rapidity of the possession thereafter.
There he is, the babyface Lee Halfpenny, and here he is. This has been his contribution so far. It includes kicking points, it includes making interceptions, it includes pace and confidence. Here he is. This is the start of the second half, and he got the pass away out of the tackle, and who knows, he looks a natural out there, Brian.
It's a confident debut, no doubt.
Meanwhile, South Africa, who have the lead and who had the ball, test Halfpenny again. Knock on by Greens. They have a chance here if they can get the ball away quickly. In fact, South Africa have now filled the gaps behind, and Stephen Jones goes for the kicking option. No advantage. Back to the scrum.
Well, it's a bit of a replication of the first half, where Wales have had a decent amount of ball. They've flattered and they've created, well, not even half chances, third chances. They've not been put away, and South Africa, the defence has held, and I just get the feeling that they'll do the same as they did in the first half, and when they get the opportunities to put points on the board, they will do so, and they will just stretch the lead, because Wales have got to put away some of these opportunities.
Wales take the free kick quickly.
Isolated.
Ian Evans takes a flat pass. Andries Becker makes the tackle, but Wales pack this side now. There are lots of red shirts out here. Lee Byrne, beautiful angle. Halfpenny outside him. Now then, the pace of Halfpenny can't get the ball away. 2 knock-ons by Wales. Halfpenny, it slipped forward out of his grasp and then it went forward from Shane Williams. Wales's best attack of the second half.
Well, another one, just as I said, they need to convert the half chances. This happens. 2 men outside. You must pay tribute to the covering South African defence. But really, if Wales are going to compete at this and they're going to be serious in challenging teams like South Africa, this sort of chance has got to be put away. Good work coming back.
JP Peterson has made some important tackles in the game already, and that was one of them again. Now then, Pierre Spies goes off for South Africa, and it'll be Ryan Kankowski who's coming on. On he comes, 23-year-old from the Sharks, Kankowski for Spies. And changes for Wales too, they're not coming on yet. We'll take the scrum, warming up. James Hook.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Dwayne Peel. Pressure on the South African scrum. Not enough to stop Jean de Villiers driving up towards the edge of the 22 and making the clearance easier for Ruan Pienaar.
Well, it looks as though Wales are going to continue with their policy of substituting both half-back. They are indeed fortunate to have 4 players, maybe more, of genuine quality in those positions.
Time off,
Dwayne Peel and James Hook come on. Straight half-back swap. Stephen Jones and Gareth Cooper go off.
This signals to me that Wales are going to try and fashion something in hand, be a bit more expansive, take a few more chances, and who can say they're wrong?
Long throw over the top to Martin Williams, inside to Dwayne Peel, who runs straight into the pincer movement of Juan Smith and Scott Burger. Hook's first touch is to gift a try to Jean de Villiers. And so, you've got to say the substitution has the reverse effect of that desired. Jean de Villiers onto the pass of James Hook, South Africa's second try.
Well, I know that James Hook has just come on, but this was so telegraphed and so delayed. It wasn't so much an invitation, the gold-plated VIP invitation. It's so obvious. And that probably puts South Africa out of sight. And it's against the run of play, but again, South Africa have held it in their defensive duties, and when an opportunity has come their way, they've taken full advantage of it, and that is a mark of a good team.
Try for Jean de Villiers, and quite an easy conversion for Ruan Pienaar. 3 from 3. This is 4th. Curls it in sweetly again. Wales 3, South Africa 20.
Actually, I know that it was badly executed by a player who's just come onto the field, but I couldn't understand the point of that, because the man who's coming on the short angle there is going to run back into midfield anyway.
This is Hook's second touch. Janchers takes it, and this time doesn't kick himself, but gives it to Ruan Pienaar, and that's his wrong foot, as it were, which still looks pretty good.
Well, Janchers has not chanced his arm and been ambitious in any way at all, but then again, everything he has done has been adequate. You know, he's fielded all the ball, and the difficulty for Wales is they've not really put him under enough pressure from enough kicks. Doesn't matter if it's a long kick, no pressure, doesn't make any difference.
Little free kicks are going Wales's way. Andy Powell. Dwayne Peel. Alan Wynne-Jones.
Away!
Hook. Shanklin sets up the ruck.
Okay.
Had a look for the offload. Peel again. Held by Duplessis.
Stay out.
Ian Evans has to be careful, he's on his own there.
Away 19.
Shane Williams to Peel to Hook. Tried to dance between some second rows out there. Tom Shanklin forward to Lee Byrne. Lee Byrne with Martin Williams on his left shoulder. Dwayne Peel, Hook. Hook held. It's there for Peel. Ian Evans took it standing still because he had to. Jamie Roberts up, not held. Jamie Roberts to the 5-metre line short of the goal line. Peel again tries to spin and pirouette. Martin Williams plays scrum half. Byrne again, his angles have opened up the South African defence on 2 occasions now. Peel, Ryan Jones, Jean de Villiers makes the tackle. Jones presents. Hook picks up the bobbling ball. Penalty Wales, some reward. South Africa delaying release and then guilty of playing the ball on the floor.
And then kicking the ball away.
Listen to me. His first action was fine. What happened subsequently is that he came off his feet, then he played his hand. That's what I'm penalising for. I'm going to talk to him now. What's he give me a decision?
South Africans will say he was on his feet. The fact is, if you'd have taken away the supporting pressure of the Welsh player, he would not have been able to stand up. Very difficult call for the referee. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. I think that was right. But again, South Africa, whilst under enormous pressure, are likely only to concede 3 points. The initial, I thought this was forward. I'd like to see this again. Oh, it's almost massively forward, 2 yards forward. But the important thing, Eddie, is once that's gone, once the referee and the linesman have not seen that, and you've got a clear break like that, one of about 5 or 6 in this game, they have got to put those away.
Third kicker used by Wales today. Stephen Jones started, Lee Halfpenny took over, and now James Hook, the star, worn by both the South Africans and Wales, stand together against racism. 3 points for James Hook, 3 more for Wales. The gap cut to 14 points.
Well, if they want to stand together against racism, they ought to have a word with Bernie Eccleston and explain a few facts of life to him. South Africa this half have really not got out of third gear, not had consistent possession. Of course, they are not in the swing of things yet, being initially just on tour. They will get better, and that's a difficulty for Wales because they're still 14 points behind, even so.
Janchers kicks off. Dwayne Peel to James Hook, and here's the new replacement for South Africa, Ryan Kankowski. I was going to say he can run. That isn't a great kick, and it goes to one of the Wales star turns of the day, Lee Byrne. Very dangerous coming from fullback. The angle of his passes, of his runs, has been excellent. Here's Jamie Roberts. And again, it's another penalty against South Africa, quickly taken by Dwayne Peel. Hook on his shoulder, Peel goes on his own, and again, the twin hit by Berger and Smith. Ryan Jones, the captain, with the pickup. Adam Jones forms a bridge there. Matthew Rees picks up. Wales clear out. Hook, Andy Powell, still going, still going. The towering figure of Andries Becker makes the tackle in the end.
Delays the foot.
It's a penalty advantage to Wales again. Peel doesn't want the advantage, he wants to kick a goal, and this could be, perhaps, a yellow card.
We're getting an official warning now. Slow down, any more ball, and the next one is going off. That's the end of it. Talk to us.
Well, he's right to do that in the sense of the accumulation of penalties that have happened for that. But I do feel sorry for Speech there because it wasn't his fault that he was on the wrong side. He tried to open himself up, but he was shot from behind by another South African forward. See here, Well, I don't think that man could get away. The man behind him, John Smith, actually shoved him into it. Jacobs.
Well, here's James Hook. He came on, gave away 7 points, and here he is. Well, he'll only be 1 point. There's Gerald Davis and Ian McGeechan, coach and manager, not in that order, of the Lions, who of course will go to South Africa next summer. Here is Hook, gave away 7, is about to recoup 6 if this goes over. No problem, 9 points to 20. Brian, you thought the match was perhaps gone with the try by de Villiers. Do you think that Wales can still turn it round?
Well, if you take the example thus far, not really, because they need more than penalties. They need to go over the try line, and they've had opportunities that haven't put away. And if that pattern continues, then they're going to lose. Having said that, if they can just find precision when they make the breaks, then all is possible. But they have to find that, and they have to find it now.
South Africa have made another substitution. Francois Steyn, the utility player, is on. Ryan Jones with the catch.
Hands out, green! Stay back!
It's Addy Jacobs who's gone off. Steyn on. Dwayne Peel keeps it in field. Ryan Kankowski with the catch. Kankowski against Halfpenny. Good tackle by the teenager. Knock on by Kankowski, and it's all going Wales' way at the moment, but as Brian said, they need more than penalties now.
Well, we can't complain about the support they're getting from the crowd, because every positive move like that forced turnover in the tackle is being given a mighty cheer. The boys in the box were saying that the Welsh were backing their fitness. At the moment, the forwards do not seem to be getting on top because of that in the way that they perhaps thought they might.
Jean de Villiers has gone off, and on in the centre comes Jacques Fourie, and they've also made a change at scrum half, where Ricky January replaces Fourie du Preez.
Crouch!
Time off called by Alain Roland.
What's the story here? Is it done? Is that done?
Well, Lee Byrne's had a good game today. In fact, he's had a great game.
Here's your mark. Crouch!
Unfortunately for Wales, the several breaks he has made have been fruitless in terms of producing points.
Sit back!
Ryan Powell picks up, takes on Joan Smith and Kankowski and beats them both, and then puts in a very delicate little chip. Janchers under pressure from Powell. Alan Wynne-Jones up with a tackle. Superb work by the second row. Wales have another penalty. And then what do they do from this wide out? They take it quickly through Martin Williams.
They're not 10.
They have width if they can get it out there. It's Matthew Rees, the hooker. He takes it in. Peel. Ryan Jones backs it on to Shanklin, to Lee Byrne. Shane Williams outside him. Takes the contact. Brilliant work. No, it wasn't brilliant. He was off his feet. Jacques Fourie is going. He's only just come on and he's off into the bin. Wales are on a roll and South Africa are losing players.
Well, he can't complain. Not his fault, because he just come on. He didn't commit the other offences, but the accumulation, they were warned. Not on it. He can't complain. He hasn't stayed on his feet. Simple as that. He was given a congratulatory pass, tap on the back by Ryan Jones as he went off. Powell did well here because the South Africans had done well at the scrum. They slewed it slightly, and he had to run on an angle which he wouldn't have done if it was straight. From one angle that looked as though it was high, but it wasn't. You can see clearly it wasn't. And the chase was good, turned the ball over, and Well, the way Hook's kicked so far, you would back him to put this over.
Jeff, 62-30, 31. Thank you.
The sort of sound a kicker doesn't mind. This to put Wales up to 12. Beautifully struck by James Hook. The Welsh roll rumbles on. Back they come again. They're up to 12. They're still trailed by 8.
Well, the thing about Hook is when he's playing as he normally does, he will keep the points board going over. He will keep you advancing. Wales have to keep doing as they are. And South Africa, they need to find some ball because they've played without the ball for a lot of the second half.
Janches again, it's become a regular habit for him, having to restart. Peel ships it infield to one of the players of the day, Andy Ball. Off he goes again, pumps at his arm, and a green shirt retreats. Dwayne Peel keeps it in play. South Africa down. What is that, Kankowski? Yes, it is. South Africa down to 14, Jacques Fourie in the bin. Pienaar. Ryan Powell couldn't catch it. Jean de Villiers to Ricky January. To Victor Matfield, to JP Peterson. Jamie Roberts and Tom Shanklin put in the tackles. January to Pienaar. Oh, the Welsh defence suddenly got a bit ragged there. South Africa have the numbers on this side as they hit the blind side hard. Andries Becker. January waits. Ryan Jones takes up his defensive position. Wales get the penalty in defence this time. And there's a little bit going off between Ryan Powell and now Jean de Villiers, and first Andries Becker. Oh, there's an intensity to this game.
Well, you can see there the difference in ball in opponents' 22. Wales far outgunning South Africa 19-4, and yet the score doesn't reflect that at all. That's the story of this game so far. He's had a good game. Very unusual for South Africa to win so little ball in the opponent's 22, and they've made it worse in this half by the fact they've kicked a lot of ball away as well.
Ian Goff is on for Wales in the second row. He's on for Ian Evans.
Back out! Hands out! Behind the ball, through red. Back!
Hatfield has to get back. Du Plessis wasn't offside. Dwayne Peel is wrapped up by the hooker. Martin Williams, acting scrum half, down, up again, not held. Hook. One for Shane Williams to chase. JP Peterson and Conrad Janches clash, but Janches comes away with it. Straight to Lee Byrne. Kicks it ahead, down to Skalkberger. JP Peterson slightly off the outside of the boot. Shane Williams. Peterson is a very good defender, and he stripped Shane Williams of the ball. Possession for South Africa. Pienaar, nothing fancy there, looking for territorial gain. Lee Byrne, that is off the outside the boot. South Africa will have the line out.
Well, at the moment, South Africa are guilty of what happened to England a lot last year, not understanding that when you have not had the ball in your possession for long periods of time, when you do get it and you kick it away, you're still not going to have it. Good by Jontes, kept his eye on the ball all the time. When he goes down here, look, he's trying to place the ball away, and that's where it comes out. But again, South Africa, divest themselves of the ball with continual kicking. It doesn't matter in this game at the moment for them because they're in the lead, but You know, as a tactic against sides which might put their chances away, so little ball is going to hurt them.
There. You've got to stand out, okay?
2-1.
Please, because otherwise you're going to get accepted.
John Smith. Now is it a broken nose? No, it's all right there, but he's going to have to go off to get that looked at.
I'm just wondering, Brian, why I mean, Jean de Villiers is back on. I know this is the face of John Smith, the captain. It's a fair old mess, and he has to go on. So on as hooker will come Brian Mujati, who was also raised in Bulawayo in Zimbabwe, and went to the same school as Tendai Tawarira. So old schoolmates in the South African front row.
Has he got a suitable animal nickname?
No, he doesn't actually. Brian.
Okay, go further. Out.
Mind you. Secure possession for South Africa. Ricky January, the new scrum half. Schalk Burger drives it up. Conrad Janches. Matthew Rees with the tackle. Martin Williams with the assist. Juan Smith. Back to January. Gap opens up. Alan Wynne-Jones wraps up January. Mujati lends weight to Schalk Burger. Juan Smith tackled by Gethin Jenkins. South Africa can't do anything. They're all hovering around the ball. They'll have to keep it tight. That is the entire South African team in shot. Well, not now, in the previous one. There they are. That is the entire team. This is a game without width. Schalk Burger tackled by Ryan Jones and Ian Goff. And it's knocked on there by Martin Williams. Oh. He read it so well, though.
That was absolutely extraordinary. You couldn't really get... Well, it is a knock-on. You couldn't get any real sense when you were watching a close-up on TV there of just how narrow the South Africans were. They were all within a 15-metre band.
Crouch on the mark.
They're very slowly taking up wider positions now. I mean, they are down to 14. They can't exactly work an overlap easily, but the narrowness of their game then was extraordinary. They're just protecting this lead. They've got 11 and a bit minutes to go. There's the strength of little scrum half Ricky January. Or has he been turned over? Scrappy ball for South Africa. Alan Wynne-Jones goes down and it claims it back for Wales. Dwayne Peel, they have to get it away from here, Wales, because they have an advantage over this side. Lee Byrne. Jamie Roberts, halfpenny. That was a good tackle on him by the end. I think it was Jean de Villiers. Or was it Francois Steyn? Anyway, Wales still in possession. Matthew Rees, the hooker. Great break by Rees, the hooker. He thrust Victor Matfield out the way. Ryan Jones couldn't get the pass away. Mujati makes the tackle. Peel looks up, who's on which side? Martin Williams is there. Bakis Berta tackles, not Bakis Berta, he's off. Andries Becker, Peel, held by Mujati. Wales with the advantage. Let's try and get the ball wide. They're taking it tight still through Williams, who gets the pass away. Jamie Roberts, the ball goes down, it's gone backwards. Now then the advantage, surely Shane Williams skips out of one tackle, and two. And still they can't get it wide. Can they now? Shanklin. No, they can't, as Shanklin is held. There's an advantage being played. Offside. Peel. Williams. The tackle by Bismarck du Plessis. Advantage still Wales. Ryan Jones cuts back. Tackle by Juan Smith. They get the penalty. And it's against Tawarira.
Number 1 in the side.
Well, Eddie, I know that the crowd and everyone in the stadium thinks that this is great rugby, inventive, near half chances, but the fact is Wales there butchered a 4-on-2 because they simply didn't run straight, draw the man and delay the pass. And whilst they are making ground and almost getting away, the imprecision is costing them so much.
No, it's difficult, but I need you still just be conscious by staying on your feet, okay, when you have the ball. When you have the ball, yeah, talk to the rest.
James Hook prepares to send the crowd into delirium again. He's in credit now. 3 penalties to his name, to add to the one by Lee Halfpenny. It's penalties only for Wales, but they've kicked 4 of them. James Hook came on, gifted a try to Jean de Villiers, but he's made amends. And here he is. Post and over!
Well, they creep nearer because that man has managed to keep the score going forward in a way that earlier they weren't able to do. And South Africa, if they do lose this game, they will be paying for an utter lack of ambition in the second half, where they've frankly tried nothing at all. The finest of margins just crept over from that.
Bit of luck going Wales's way. 4 penalties for James Hook. Ryan Jones with a safe catch. Andy Powell under pressure from Andries Becker. And Powell again just gets through the first tackler. Hook, high hanging kick towards Francois Steyn. Jacques Fourie is on the field. Steyn. Now then, Lee Byrne, outstanding all day. Boom! Not only Ruan Pienaar can kick it long, JP Peterson, one of the tacklers who've kept South Africa safe from the counter-attacks of Wales. Hook. It's a one-man chase. Hook against Francois Steyn. Steyn down, up. Good counter-rucking by Wales. January in trouble. Peel! Did it go forward? It's going to be a yellow card. It's knock-on only, sorry.
No, it's a knock-on.
Oh, I thought the referee was reaching for something then. Hook is down injured. But again, this is an outstanding second half by Wales, except for the gifted try.
You mean you hope the referee was reaching for his card? Well, again, the finest of margins here. Pressure, creating bad ball, and then it gets worse. Now then. Tries to flick it. Yeah, well, I don't know. I can't tell from here whether he touched that or not. If he did touch it, it went forward. But yeah, just
forward. Well,
and it was well seen by the referee.
Yeah, well done.
But again, an example. Getting close but no cigar. Now, they may win by simply taking goal kicks. If they do, credit to them, because they're the only team that have played any rugby in this half. But with the amount that they've created, really they should be winning.
Wales have had just about everything in this second half. The possession, the momentum. They can't score a try yet, and they have given South Africa one. But this is an absolute gripper at the Millennium Stadium.
Jeff, time on, please.
This is a chance for South Africa, who have been rocked in this second half. They've been able to gather their breath. John Smith is back on and Brian Mujati goes off, but surely Wales will just give it maximum effort at this scrum. Smith, very interested to hear your reaction to this little tussle on the South African tight head side, Brian.
Well, John Smith, because he's slightly smaller than the usual, he will try and get in and down. He'll try to cut across. What he doesn't need to do is get his shoulders square and out. And there you can see the angle. He's got inside his prop, and that's why he can hold it.
January.
No, that's an accidental Summersby.
He ran into his own man, but the referee lets play go on. Pienaar under pressure from Powell. Lee Byrne. No need to risk the quick one. They can build from the line out, the regular line out. Ruan Pienaar has had nothing to deal with the little ball South African had. Do you remember that huddle they had around the ball?
Well, the little ball they've had, they've kicked it away again. They really are there for the taking, and if Wales have any pretensions to moving to the top flight of rugby, this is the sort of thing that they have got to put away.
Ian Goff stands at 2, up he goes, but it's Matfield who steals Welsh ball, and South Africa. It's John de Villiers who takes on the kicking duties. Straight though to Lee. Oh, Lee Byrne of all people drops the ball. The first mistake he's made.
Well, Eddie, in one passage of play there, you've seen writ large the difficulties Wales have had advancing their cause. Losing first phase ball, compounding it by, and albeit they've had a very good game, and it's only one thing, anyone could drop a ball, but it just so happened that it was at that point. It's at the point where they just got the pressure on, and now they find themselves from being right on the line, back in their own territory, and South Africa able to put the ball away or just keep the ball tight.
January feeds the South African scrum. Ryan Kankowski goes across field, tracked by Ryan Jones. Kankowski gets back on his feet. Powell drags him down. The first bit of momentum South Africa have had for a long while, and January calls in the big heavyweight forwards like Andries Becker, tackled by Adam Jones, winning his 50th cap today. Good tackle by Gethin Jenkins. South Africa still in possession. Pienaar with a drop goal attempt. Might still be dangerous. Halfpenny tracks back. Byrne inside him. Byrne gets the ball. Downfield to Janches. Wales come up in a line. Janches with a drop goal this time. Nothing the South Africans have attempted has come anywhere near going over the post, but that is straight to Scott Berger. He won't try a drop goal, he'll just do that. Wales will have the put-in at the scrimmage. Another mistake by South Africa. They had 2.5 minutes to strike for the winning try, and I suppose, Brian, you have to start thinking about the man of the match, but who's going to win this game?
Well, I don't think that the man of the match should necessarily be from the winning side, and I don't know who's going to win now. But my Invesco Perpetual Series 2008 man of the match is that man. I thought he's had a superb game today, in both attack and defence. He's supported, he's been under the high balls, and he's danced around, made ground.
Tricky ball for Wales at the scrimmage. It's gone loose and it's gone forward by Wales. Under 2 minutes to go.
Again, Eddie, just little moments of precision at vital times, and they haven't been there, and it's going to cost them the game.
There's your mark. Crouch.
Warren Gatland looks on. Have Wales, his Wales, got one last strike left in them? South Africa now will just run down the clock.
Well, he will know that this game has been there for the winning, if indeed they don't manage to fashion that, but he will know that this is a game they could have, maybe should have won.
Juan Smith, South Africa won't pass this ball any further than they've gone in this second half.
Hands, feet up!
Prop and captain John Smith.
Roll away! Stay back, stay back! Stay back!
Can Wales get their hands on the ball? We're into the last minute. Juan Smith delivers it. It's there for January. Scott Berger takes it up.
Stay back!
Well, we're going to have an endless series of boring pick and goes now, I'm afraid.
Penalty to Wales. No, we're not, Brian.
Well,
Dwayne Peel, have they got time to kick it downfield and go for the line out?
Well, they'll have to ask the referee, because they've come stuck before Wales in this. If they've got enough time, they should go for territory first.
10 seconds left. Hurry up, James Hook. Hurry up.
Oh, it's going to be Italy all over again.
5 seconds, cool as a cucumber. It all depends on Alain Roland. 2 seconds, 1 second to go. He calls the line out. Oh, so it is. The last chance. Oh dear. Whatever Wales do or don't, they do take you to the edge of your seat.
Well, but what for? If there are loads of ifs. If they'd have kicked the goals in the first half, if James Hook hadn't gifted that try to them, they would have been out of sight. But there's no ifs and buts here. First of all, we've got to win the ball. First off.
They get it. Powell gets it. No, he doesn't. Play on. Smith heads for the touchline. They'll kick this away. South Africa, it's the line out has been, as Gavin Henson would say, his Achilles heel. Their Achilles heel. The line out has not gone well. And it let them down right at the end. And South Africa stay in the lead and they steal the game. Wales couldn't do it. It was a massive comeback.